Freakies free. We never miss a meal, cause we love the cereals. This is the big boss, we call the boss boss. Make sure you spell it right.
Snorkel what they call me, so handsome and pretty.
He's little and host.
He's got a weird nose.
Do I really have to sing?
My name is Grumble.
I am Kamumble.
You're standing on my foot.
Hello, this is Mace.
No, this is my game. I know more than you do.
Says you.
And don't forget me, I'm goody goody. I always do what's right. For instance, I eat Freaky cereal because it's got a lot of vitamins and it's good for me.
You too can have crunchy, freaky cereal as part of your good breakfast. And there's a free freaky in specially marked boxes. Okay, here comes the big finish.
We are the Freakies. We are the Freakies. This is the Freaky Free.
Okay, I am back, and hopefully everything's working. I think we got some people out there watching. I think we got maybe some viewers. I know we're always on a delay on this thing. It's about 15 seconds. So if you're out there, let me know we're up. Holy cow, that audio. Oh, so you can hear me. So that's a good sign. First up, I just want to plug my other show is called To Be Determined. It's an interview show. The last one I recorded was with Kirk Damaris, author of Mail Order Mysteries. Check it out if you have the time. It's 2 parts. The first part, we're talking about his first book, and then in the second part, we'll get into his second book, this one, Mail Order Mysteries, which is just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful book. But this week is cereal. Cereal. Cereal is a big topic. When I started collecting, which was in, I collected as a kid, and then I left collecting, and then I always collected comic books, but I got back into wanting to collect the stuff that I had when I was a kid. And I quickly found that a lot of the primary things I cared about when I was a kid were the food product packaging things. Mainly Funny Face, that was like my number one thing, and then also cereal. And when I started collecting, I just wanted to recapture those memories. And we didn't have the internet back then. And so the only way to really sort of delve into that stuff was to find it. And I wanted to find the cereal boxes and all the other food product packaging that you've been seeing and you will be seeing on the future shows. And number one on that list was Freakies. I remember going to our local grocery store with my mom one day, walking in there and looking up and seeing this box, this exact box, the Free Freaky Inside box. And I brought it home, and the Freaky cereal, nothing to write home about, but quite a decent cereal. Wonderful thing. The woman who created Freakies, Jackie Ang, and there's a whole story about Freakies being sort of this cereal which led to a lot of collectors being interested in cereal. But it was an ad agency woman, Jackie Ang, that made up the cereal and came up with all these characters, and collectors have since tracked her down, and she still had stuff, and she had stories to tell, and it was great. But my thing has always sort of been finding the packaging and finding the items. And Freakies was on the top of that list. And truth be told, I don't even remember where I got this box. I have absolutely no memory of me getting my first Freakies box, but this is the first Freakies box, or at least the first normal, that was out in the grocery stores. There's some other earlier boxes that were test market boxes where the cereal is actually artwork, but this is the first one. Inside was one of the little Freakies plastic figures, which you can still get on eBay all the time. And Freakies, I love it. I used to have a bunch of different ones. I've sold and traded most of them, and this is, I think, the only one I still have left. And I just love it. You know, it's such a perfect object. You know, 1974. I mean, it's copyright 71, but I think these boxes were 73, 74. That was my primary childhood time. Now we're just going to start digging in here. The boxes are in some order at some point, but for the most part, they're just kind of in here. Triple snack. This is one of those boxes that probably no one's going to remember eating because it was really short-lived. It's a really weird cereal. It's what is it? It's peanuts, puffed corn, and puffed wheat. Sugar corn. So it's just, they just threw it together, but it is beautiful. It is a pink box, which I've said before, I love pink boxes and I love blue boxes and I love white boxes because most boxes trade on those really primary colors. Trade on the red and the yellow. Red and yellow and blue, are the primary colors. But I love it when you have, you know, look at the soft pink. And this box, what is this box? 63, you know, would have been short-lived, probably a year or two. This great giraffe character, kind of uninteresting Masters of the Sea. And a lot of characters like this giraffe character appeared here, and that's it. He was done. I don't think they ever did any premiums with him, but just a gorgeous box. And really, I always think that this time period of Kellogg's was maybe my favorite design period. You know, just a gorgeous box and incredibly hard to find. You know, with most of these, like the triple snack, that's the only one I've ever found. This one, a beautiful Stars box. I've had two of these. This one's like a mint flat. And probably there was a big collection that came out of New York, which was Leo Burnett, our ad agency, repped and did all the Kellogg's boxes for a long, long time. And there was a big collection that came out of Leo Burnett that showed up at the maybe at the Chicago, no, maybe at the New York Toy Show or Chicago, one of the big toy shows. And I guess some guy just had all these boxes spread out. And likely this is boxes from there because it's a beautiful mint flat, you know, never been assembled. And that's the thing, really boring back. Beautiful moon character, kind of 3D. The thing about a lot of these, I don't know what my train of thought was. This one, again, 1967, so this is a little later. Stars was Sugar Stars earlier, and then it just became Stars. Huck Hound was the primary character on that earlier. This is completely out of order, but here's a beautiful Cheerios box with the Lone Ranger. I had a mint flat of this, which I sold, and then I just rebought this one a couple months ago, and it was $25, which is crazy. And sort of, you know, I think you got to take that as a little bit of a caveat when you collect is some stuff can be incredibly expensive for a long time, and then it can be not worth as much. And this box used to be, you know, you'd get any copy of this box you get a couple $100 for. I mean, this one's a little cut up, and you know, this box was saved a lot because it had the Frontier Town. But just this is the sort of what year is this one? This one is it has the date on here, 48. This one is really the box that shows what's coming in printing. You know, where you've got this beautiful full color printing. Before, this boxes had a tendency to be a little more bland. These are so, you know, with cereal boxes, we also have the snack packs, and these ones are the wraps. A lot of the post cereal boxes, what they would do is they'd print on paper on wax, going back to probably the 40s actually, and then they would wrap these around cardboard boxes. So this is a beautiful, and these ones are all like, most of these are like master print roll ones, alphabets, another rice crinkles, which is really cute. This one, as you can see, this one's sort of pieced together, you know. It's like you have two torn ones, so you sort of put it together. Crispy Critters with Linus. And actually, the primary photo I used at the beginning is this, which we're going to talk about in another show at some point. And as you can see, that's the original artwork. So this is the original gouache painting of the cereal box art. And at some point I'm going to do a show about the art and talk about it. But, you know, it's great to see the art right along with the box that went. And here's an earlier wax wrap with the little magic chef guy with his magic oven. And that's sort of the wonderful thing about cereal is how many characters there were. Because cereal, you know, it appealed to kids, and so at a certain point in the 50s it started being covered in sugar, and they started selling to kids through commercials and things like that. Before that, a lot of the grocery buying was done by moms. And so at a certain point the kids started holding a little more sway over that, and they realized that in addition to using television characters, they could start making up their own characters to try and really sell the stuff. Sugar Sparkle Flakes with Rory Raccoon. And nice Sugar Bear. It's interesting also, it's like the Rory's a paper, the Sugar Bear's a wax. So why some wax and some paper? I don't know the answer to that one. Now let's dig into some more Kellogg's. And as I said, I didn't go through and organize this. I could have organized it and gone through all the times, but I just sort of, this is how it's sort of in my how I sort of deal with it. Beautiful Frosted Flakes, Tony the Tiger, dated 72, but more likely 76. And you know, look at this, just gorgeous painting that they did for this premium. Really a classic premium. The Tony the Tiger vinyl figure, 7.5 inches tall, made by Hasbro. Okay. $1.50, kind of expensive. $1.50's seemingly a lot of money. This one's so 1956. It was interesting. A buddy found a picture of an old grocery store and is trying to sort out exactly what year, because you could see all the cereal boxes, and if you looked really carefully, the Frosted Flakes, you could see the Frosted Flakes, and Frosted Flakes for a while was changing its design every year, every 2 years at the latest. So you could really pin this photograph down to an exact time period because of the Frosted Flakes box. And this one is this is the 56, which is kind of one of the second variations. There's a I don't think I have one. There's a Tony Jr. one that, but Frosted Flakes. This is the first Frosted Flakes box, which is I think it's 55. I don't know. I'll have to. My dates aren't as good, but you're like, wait, where's Tony? Well, this is Katie Kangaroo. Before there was Tony, or let me rephrase that. At the beginning of Frosted Flakes, it had two characters. It had Tony and Tony Jr. and Katie Kangaroo and Katie Kangaroo's kid, who actually I have no idea what her name is. But this box, you know, if you really get in there close and you just look at those flowers, it's just beautiful. It's like it's like a really subtle painting that's been dot matrixed, you know, with the full color process, and you can really see where full color process is going. We're not, you know, these boxes are still pretty flat, you know, but they're gonna get glossy, and they're gonna just get more and more beautiful. We didn't go to, I don't know if I went to the back of this one. The Whirlarang, really boring. It's kind of a big circle, the Whirlarang. And you know, I used to collect premiums. I do not anymore. Oh, so this is another 56. So this one's these are both 56s. This is the earlier one. This is the later one, I'm pretty sure. And I think there's another one. There's two different boxes with Tony and Tony Jr. So when this came out, the two of them were standing there, and then there's also a trapeze one. So, you know, I've had them all at one point. I don't have them all now. I'll never get them. I'll probably never get them again because Amazingly, these boxes are, of course, incredibly hard to find, but they aren't as valuable as like monster cereals and a lot of stuff. People are collecting 70s now, or they have been collecting 70s for a long time, and now people are collecting 80s, and 80s stuff is becoming worth money. So, things march forward. Boy, did they march forward. Which is good. Things should march forward, and maybe all this stuff will be worth an absolute fortune, or maybe it won't ever be worth an absolute fortune. Now we're gonna get to some of my. Oh, we didn't do all those. I have whatever. We'll get to everything. Either I don't know if this is gonna be 2 parts or 1 part. It's a big box. We'll do an hour and see where we're at. This is one of those sort of mythical boxes. Pretty mythical because Scott Bruce was always looking for it, and so Scott was one of the original cereal box collectors, and this was a box he was always looking for. So it wrapped up in mythology. It's the Cream Crunch. I've actually owned 2 of these boxes. I also owned the vanilla one at one point, which I sold, traded, got rid of at one point, and it was beautiful because it was a blue and white box, like I was saying that I love. But this one is just, any Cream Crunch box is just a wonder to behold. He's like a piece of, he's a piece of ice cream with cereal eyes and a mouth. He's got a little soda jerk hat. He's soda jerking. He's putting marshmallow marbits into the cereal. He was not soda jerking. And his, he's got a little paper crafted thing, and we see on the back, there we have a picture of the 3 different strawberry, orange, and vanilla. I think we've seen maybe 2 or 3 strawberries total. We've seen 1 vanilla and 1 orange, I guess. I mean, maybe 5 of these babies have turned up through the years. There might be more. There's always collectors out there who don't necessarily talk about what they have. But I mean, I know I've had my hands on 2 of these, and I know I've seen another one of these. I'm pretty sure another, and an orange, and that's about it. But just a gorgeous box. Maybe not the best logo in the world, but short-lived. Sort of the history of Marbits, what dates 65, which, I always sort of look at 65 as sort of the Kellogg's prime year. They really ruled from 1960 to 1970. Sort of the other sort of stepbrothers to that one, which I think kind of led to that one, are the Apple Jacks. This is when Apple Jacks. I think that this is new. Once again, a mint flat, gorgeous. He is literally an apple with cereal eyes and a little hat. They made a premium mug which looked almost exactly like that, which is really a fun piece, and just sort of not uninteresting, but a not so interesting comic strip on the back. And then we have the cornflakes and bananas with the banana guy, who I think was voiced by Jimmy Durante, and there he is on the back, and has this cool little drawing of him, and another cool little drawing of him. But these 2 I've always thought were just sort of this beautiful, and then you add in this guy, and you just have 3 of sort of the most interesting cereal boxes I think that have ever been produced. Because they sort of they're sort of 3D sculptures, sort of real life things, but they're also sort of cartoon characters. I mean, just I don't know. I love them. Then we get to some of the really classic sugar sweetened cereal characters, and 1963's Fruit Loops with Toucan Sam. It's interesting. Recently, a new commercial came out with a different design of Toucan Sam, and everybody was all outraged, or at least all the younger people were outraged. And the thing they were comparing it to was a hideous, like 1990s 3D version of of Toucan Sam, and I'm just like, and the new one was a more retro, sort of stripped down Toucan Sam, but they were all bent out of shape, and it's like, that's what happens with design. Is design moves on. I can sit here and love this box, which was created 2 years from when I was born, but when we get to when I was born, the Freakies, this design is dead. This design is no longer relevant. This design is now relevant. And that's the thing about design, is it continues to move forward. And that's the other thing, it continues to move forward, but it also continues to look back. And so a design like this has been influencing a lot of animators that are working. And they look at this and say, oh my God, look at how beautiful this is, mid-century modern sort of stuff. And I also see there's a whole, yes, the blacks on this box are beyond beautiful. It's like a black and white box. Good God, that's crazy. And his nose with the multicolors, his tail has the different colors, the fruit basket, just what can you say about this box? Only good things. And how can we make it even better? The Toucan Sam stuffed toy. So this is the kind of box I love. Is you get full character. The offer bubble is tiny, so it doesn't obscure any of the good stuff at the box. And boom, on the back you have a great premium that ties into the character. But what I'm saying is, I've seen a lot of people that grew up on things like the Freakies and the Monster cereals and other stuff that's scratchier and more sort of gritty. They're looking back on a lot of the 80s design, which I look at and I think is terrible, because I like this really stripped down, clean design, and they're like, this is what we like. And so we're going to have this next level of people really digging into a kind of grimier look. There's going to be a rebellion against all the mid-century modern, and that's the way it should be. They're going to look at like those. I was just watching Saved by the Bell, and there's these horrible graphics at the beginning of these bad pastels and these things and these swoops and the Lisa Frank and all this stuff. And you know what? That stuff's coming back, and it's going to come back with a vengeance, and it's going to kick mid-century modern in the face. And that's the way it should be. You got to just keep on. And then mid-century will come back in 15 years and say, oh no, we like the cool. So here's the next iteration. This box is dated 65. The next iteration of the Fruit Loops. And as you can see, it's quite a bit, it's not quite a bit different. It's just interestingly different. His nose just isn't as large. There aren't the loops on the top of it. The hat's a little more defined. And he's just, I don't know. It's like a little lighter. Maybe it's because this one's, the cardboard's done the white down a little, but the white's a little whiter. And look at the R, and look at the cherry in the Fruit Loops lettering. They've backed it off. Look at how much more blocky that lettering is. And this is how we see. They were like, oh, this lettering's a little too fruity. No, not fruity, but it's a little too thin. And then boom, we're going bolder. I wish I had another. I don't think I have I'm sure I have another later Fruit Loops box around here somewhere, but I do not see it. I do not. Kellogg Stars. This is once again, back when I started collecting, it was definitely a character that I loved. Hillbilly Goat. Like, who sits down in the meeting and is like, here's what we need. We need a character, Hillbilly Goat. And I actually have a little bit of the original sketch art of him somewhere. And this is that Stars, where the moon box is that I showed earlier is that this is that. And here we go. There's the Hillbilly Goat stuffed toy, which every kid cherished. But I'm sure I found one of these goats, one of these dolls at the flea market at some point. And, just a gorgeous box. Just a beautiful painting of an incredibly weird character. Yeah. What can you say about a box like that? Except, yes, please. Here we go. Let's pull this one out. We'll just look at this real quick. Yes, most of this stuff's in some sort of bag so that it doesn't get totally destroyed by having to live with me. But I'm not the best steward of things. There we go. Okay, so we see that this sort of bolder lettering ruled the day. And bolder letter ruled the day, probably because you could be able to read it across the grocery store better. We'll get to this because these are some banana splits. We'll do those in a second. Here's something that's sort of out of order. It's a General Mills. The first Lucky Charms. And I used to have this box, but it's a pretty valuable box, so it went its way. But, you can really see in these early 60s, the battle that was going on between these, whoops. I'm always backwards. I'm always putting the wrong one down. And I'm always putting it upside down. The fonts are kind of similar. So Kellogg's was probably like, we gotta do it our way, and block it up a bit. But Lucky started out on the back, and there is an early box which maybe I still have one. I don't know. There is an early box with this early Lucky on the front that has this front, and it has Lucky on there sitting on a mushroom, which is a really gorgeous box. But we have the whole thing on the back, which is Dear Mom, and look at this. This is back. This is what I love. I love little flowers with faces. I love a little weird frog. I love mushrooms. I love this Lucky the left cotton. I don't know. There's some ones that are a little less interesting. Apple Jacks. We're moving into 71. And they're like, okay, just put a bowl with the damn cereal on the front. Neat glow stickers offer. Itchy nose. Yes. Now we're going to talk about, and as you'll learn. Well, you probably all learned if you've been watching me. I like what I like, and this is what I like. Kellogg's Raisin Bran with the Smiling Sun. Smiling Sun, one of the most underrated characters of all time, in my opinion. One of the most. I don't necessarily love this cutout, but this is the earliest Kellogg's Raisin Bran I found with the Smiling Sun. What year is this one? 65. There you go. That's 63 to 65. Kellogg's was just like, okay, let's up our game. Boom, Smiling Sun. Let's see. We got some more Smiling Suns. Let's see if I can get these kind of in order. I think this is probably the next one. This is the 67. And is he exactly the same or is he a little different? Oh, he's got little cheeks now. He's bigger. His corona is bigger, so his head looks a little smaller. It looks like we dropped the eyes down, so he's even cuter in the new one. So this is just everything good going on here. It's a purple box, so this one's kind of great because this one's white purple. This one's we go to all purple, and I think with the rest of these are all purple. You don't think about it. It's like a purple box because of the raisin. but it's like it's a purple box, which really just makes it gorgeous. And I mean, that's the thing, is this is not a valuable box, but you probably have a really hard time finding one of these. I mean, I don't search eBay as hard as I used to, but I've always, every one of these Raisin Bran boxes I've found, I've kept, because probably would only sell for maybe $50. It's probably a Milt Youngren. Yes, if down there, 1966 Milt Youngren. Milt Youngren was a guy who did a lot of back of cereal box artwork things, and he designed a lot of paper premiums, and so he has a really particular sort of cartoony look. So Milt Youngren, he might still be alive. I know he was kicking around, when I started this, and he had some stuff that was for sale, and I think he sold some stuff through Hakes. But good God, what a beautiful box. I don't like the giant 5-cent coupon there, but man, it's good looking. Good looking. Oh, look, it's another one. And the other kind of helpful thing is Raisin Bran actually had some interesting premiums. And this one, you can see they bumped him over a little. They've added a white square, so it's not that pure purple box. Oh, well, we'll do this one next. It's not that pure. Oh, wait, this one had the box too, didn't it? So shut up, Dan. What do I know? Okay, so the Friendly Folks, one of the coolest premiums ever. They were, how many of these artists, designers do you know? Not a lot. I could talk a little bit about, there's a few people that have shown up that have had stuff. Wally Walworth, who worked a lot in Cracker Jack, and whose stuff is at the Please Touch Museum, which, if you really care, you can go and visit the Please Touch Museum in Philadelphia and talk to them. They have his archives there, and they did a show on it at one point. And I visited the archives one time and looked through some of the boxes, which was super interesting. But there's not a lot of these guys. They were just workers, not workers, but they were artists. But it wasn't like comic books where they got to sign their names to them and people got to track them all down later. Most of this stuff was pretty was just straight up design work. And like with Kellogg's, most of the work was done through Leo Burnett Agency in New York, and they would just hire people. And I don't know, some of these companies do have archives of stuff, and maybe they know. Back to the Friendly Folks. These little terrible wooden figures of Tony, Snap, Crackle, and Pop, and Og. Sadly, the coupon is cut, but I must have had a couple of these when I was a kid. I don't think I had these ones, but we'll see. There's a couple of series of little people that I absolutely had, and they're just the weirdest premiums because they're made out of wood, and then they're painted, and then they're flocked, and they're just really oddball. So here's I think this is probably a little earlier. This one's 67. The Friendly Folks box was 70. So this says 67, but it doesn't say. It's probably more like 69. This one came out, and they did a series of these little people that you could mail away for. There was 8 different, and they did a second series of these little people, which I think I have a Pop-Tarts box back for. And they're like, what is it? It's Friar Tuck, Mexican Caballero, Little Red Riding Hood, Rip Van Winkle, Uncle Sam, Chinese Philosopher, and Robin Hood, and then Pocahontas. But just, some of these weird premiums ended up on Raisin Bran, which is like, I don't know, it's really cool. And one last Raisin Bran. This one's probably a little later. This is another 1970. But it is a Smiling Sun premium, and they did a number of Smiling Sun premiums. They did this little bike reflector. There's probably 4 or 5 out there, and it's just so weird that they would pump up Raisin Bran, which I always assumed was a more adult cereal, with a lot of really specific charactery kinds of premiums. My mom says that she does not remember us having those little people. Maybe we just ordered one or something, or maybe somebody else had one, or who knows. I don't have a great memory for the most part, so I'm not always the person you want to ask to remember what I was supposed to be remembering. So one of the other sort of interesting things about Kellogg's is they sponsored a lot of cartoon shows. So although I don't know if I have any, I don't know if I still have any of the Hanna-Barbera boxes, but some of the early primary cereal boxes that people collected was the Hanna-Barbera boxes. They did a couple Yogi Bears, they did Snagglepuss, they did Quick Draw McGraw, and they did did I say Huck? Maybe I forgot somebody. But they did those across the line, and they sponsored the TV show, the cartoon, on television. And then later on, they sponsored shows like the Banana Splits, which was a show I watched when I was a kid. So I've always been on the lookout for any of the boxes that had the Banana Splits. And here we have just the panels for the stuffed toys, which were one of the first things I found when I started collecting. And the funny thing is, I actually have the cutout coupon, not from this one though. So that's pretty fun. Don't I have? I must have more somewhere. I don't know. Maybe I don't. Who knows? Here's a really crazy Sugar Smacks with the Smackin' Brothers playing football, and it's got the hand puppet offer here. So it says free inside these other boxes. So the hand puppet was in these other boxes, and then in this box, the Sugar Smacks, we had the fan club kit, which is just great. For those of you who haven't found it, it goes up all the time, I'm pretty sure. And it's wonderful, of course, because it's Banana Splits. But this one, and a lot of my boxes are pretty nice because I've been able to not upgrade, but I've always been pretty lucky on those because a lot of boxes that show up. But this one came out of a collection of really beat the hell stuff. But Smackin' Brothers boxes, Sugar Smacks, are very hard to find. I've only ever had a couple. Here we go, really boring Rice Krispies box with the Banana Splits breakfast set. Boom. There it is, the F&F set itself. We have the splits back there, 50 cents, Milk Mug and Cereal Bowl. F&F was a company that made a lot of plastic premiums. And they did pretty much all these mug and bowl sets that were in Kellogg's. They did some little plastic cars that were in Post cereal. Just a kind of endless amount of premiums, plastic premiums, injection mold plastic premiums. And they did all these. And they're pretty collectible. F&F also made the funny face mugs. So if you have any funny face mugs, you own something that was made by the F&F company. A nice sugar frosted flakes with the Vulture Squadron kit. And unusual appearance of Tony Jr. on the side. I don't know why. I mean, Tony Jr. always sort of kept around. Do I have the... Yes, I do. The Fun Zodiac stickers. That is actually the next box. Dick Dastardly. There's... these boxes are... This box kind of shows up. The Airplane Telescope box kind of shows up, but there's also some little plastic biplanes that put together, and then there's the rubber racer figures, which I've never seen complete boxes of those in my entire life. There's actually also a Wacky Racers Wacky Racers box, that was on Clackers, and that was General Mills. So they actually sort of switched companies. And I had that one time, and that is now gone. Sadly. Another incredibly hard box, which is interesting because you would have thought those were the boxes people would have saved, but a lot of those little plastic premium boxes. We have more Banana Splits boxes. Yay! Let's see what we got going on here. We've got the Sugar Smacks box with the Fun Zodiac stickers. Sugar Smacks switched to this Indian character, and then Sugar Pops was a cowboy character. The Indian character pretty short-lived. And here's the beautiful Fun Zodiac stickers. which I think I posted those on my Instagram, and I realized I did not have a full set, which is tragic. I'm very sad I don't have a full set of those, because they're beautiful. I haven't saved a lot of premiums. Once again, look at this booming red. Just like red. No background, no nothing. Red, and I'm sure when you get to the store and you line these all up on the store shelves, at one point, you got red, you got blue, you got yellow, and it probably formed this sort of beautiful rainbow in the grocery store. That would be nice. And a lot of people that collect cereal boxes have giant displays. I used to have displays of some of my built-up ones, but at one point I had a lot of cereal boxes. I still have a fair amount, and yeah, it would have been crazy. So here's another. This is another Sugar Smacks box. So it has the Smackin' Brothers, but they're on the bowl, which is a lot less interesting. Stupid magic trick. Has the kids. Sorry, I shouldn't say stupid. And has this beautiful Calico Lassie doll. I think I own that one time. And this one's the '66 version. And that's the thing with Kellogg's is, there's these white with the stripes, and then it was white with solid, and then all color. So they go through many iterations. Cocoa Krispies with Jose the Monkey. This is the 59. Yeah, this is the 59 Cocoa Krispies, new with milk chocolate taste. Cocoa Peanut Squares. Cute little girls on the back. Not a super interesting box. But this box, if you can see in there, it's got a bunch of repairs. This poor box, got destroyed in the big LA earthquake in the 90s, I guess. So sadly, this box has this box got damaged while in collector's possessions, and it's all torn up on the back. This was in really nice shape before that earthquake. So earthquakes, the end of that story is earthquakes are bad. And then this is I can't think of the elephant's name now. Coco the elephant. It's Jose the Monkey, Coco the elephant. So then this is 59, where you see they have the little Kellogg's name all in the background, and then here we're starting with the stripes, which is cool. And funny thing is, Jose the Monkey's still on the back of the box. Jungle Jangle. Stupid cutouts. Stupid cutouts. And this is missing a thing, but this is only one of these I've ever had. And certainly little pink elephants on parade Disney things. And then we end up, well, actually no, I tried to cheat. Then we have Og from 1967. Once again, he's like a little clay sculpture guy, which of course means I love him. Wait, did I say 67? 67. This box is probably, actually it's got a little, see, and that's the thing, sometimes dated March 11th, 1969. And this is some sort of file copy from someplace. As you see, for some reason they cut the Og one out. Probably to use it for something else, some other promotion. Because this is, although this isn't a mint flat, it is a mint box. So sometimes, you have mint flats where they aren't glued down the side. And then just a mint box like this was glued down the side, but it was never glued together, and these flaps have never been folded. That's another reason why I never displayed them, is I don't want to fold up too many boxes. I mean, I must have put a little bit of glue on here. Oops. Yeah. As you see, it says Og up here at the top, probably for some reason. But you gotta love Og. Collect them all. And people always wondered about this because there's this little blue cow that was the third in the set, which is funny because he's blue in the premium, and not, I don't think he's painted. But they didn't run a blue pass on this box to save money, undoubtedly, and so he's not blue on the back. And then after Og, we get to Tusk, who's like certainly one of my sort of childhood favorites characters. And this one has a cool iron-on patch offer, which is which is just excellent. Glow in the dark iron on patch offer. Fun. Fun, fun, fun. We are not going to get through this entire box today. Because we're down about that far. And there's a lot left. So, do part 2 next week. I'm not going to do 2 hours of this because I will keel over. Puffa Puffa Rice. This is the second Puffa Puffa Rice box. We'll do the first one in a second. Free yo-yo, boring, but man, I love that. Look at the green. Look at the yellow sun, orange sun. It's just beautiful. And once again, there's not a lot of green boxes out there. I mean, have we had any other green boxes? The Apple Jacks is the only other thing I think that was a green box. But this really beautiful dark green. Puffa Puffa Rice. I'm assuming it's brown coated sugar rice, so it's kind of like whatever you call Frosties, Frosted Rice Krispies. Banana Splits Club on the side. The funny thing is that at one point I had a bunch of I had a few of, not this one, but I had a number of boxes with the Banana Splits fan club on the side, and those were I sold all those, which is fine. But it was fun because it was a way people could actually get a Banana Splits box and not have to pay a ton of money. Now we have one of my favorite boxes of all time. This is the earlier Puffa Puffa Rice. It's green with a giant volcano, which is beautiful, but what's the premium offer? Banana Splits hand puppet. There it is. What a box. Fan club on the side, hand puppets on the back. That's pretty damn cool. Weird little drawing of a kid. Beautiful yellow and red back. Would have liked it better if they'd have made Snorky the big one, because I was a Snorky kid, because I was a shy kid. I was a weird kid. And Snorky was always my favorite of the Banana Splits because he was the shy one. Now I'm a big loudmouth that goes on YouTube. And what is this is from? This box is from 68. So I think, yeah, it's dated 68. I think there was 2 years of Banana Splits. They did 68 and 69. And so there's a motorized banana buggy. I've never seen that box. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones I haven't seen. I've seen most of them. What else do we have down in here? Oh, this just looks like General Mills. Nabisco. Oh, some Post. More Post. Why don't we got about 10 more minutes. Let's just finish up with Quaker. We're gonna finish up with Quaker, and then we're gonna do next week. We will do Post and all that other stuff. Boom! Free ring inside. Captain Crunch built up box. Yes. That's how we do it. This box sadly has some pen writing on it because some kid is stupid. But beautiful paintings of the rings. I actually have a prototype. I have a painting from when they pitched these rings. It's a painting of the cannon ring, which looks incredibly different. Gorgeous. And then we have the next one I have. Boom. This one's like from a year or two later. Look at the captain's bigger. His sword goes over a little more. They just sort of tweak him up a little more. And this one has the bosun whistle, which is this super infamous premium because way back in the day, you used to be able to take this and go to a payphone and make long distance calls, make a long distance call, and then you would tweet that in there, and it would cause the phone to give you a free long distance call. So They're these guys called Phone Freaks, which I actually met one of these guys earlier this year, and they were like sort of the original hackers. And so 37 cents, the Bosun Whistle box, which is probably one of the more significant Captain Crunch premiums, I would say. And pretty damn gorgeous. You know, beautiful little painting of it on the front there, which is something I always love. This box is pretty fun. Captain Crunch pouring out of the porthole. There's also one of him skiing. There's also one where he's in a dinghy. The skiing and the dinghy are just incredibly hard to find. Portal's pretty darn hard to find too. As you can see, this box is burnt. There was a premium designer, I don't know where he was at, who did a lot of plastic premiums, and he saved a ton of stuff. He saved a bunch of boxes, but he had a fire at one point. So if you ever find a cereal box that has a burnt top or a little burnt side, that's where it came from, that premium designer. And he had a bunch of boxes. He had most of all the Winnie the Pooh boxes that show up came from his mint flats. And he designed this Captain Crunch mini movie viewer, which is super cool. They also made a Quisp one. Someone asked about Quisp. I don't have any Quisp boxes, sadly. I've had a few through the years, but right now I don't have any. Which, as I've said with many times, which is sad. Here's a sign for the Captain Crunch ice cream and cake bar, which since Quaker owned Bury and we did Bury, this probably should have been the Bury one, but they also made Captain Crunch ice cream, which is super cool. We're going to look at a couple of things that are not exactly cereal boxes, but they little dusty. What's in there? Oh, there they are. Captain Crunch Ship Shake, chocolate malt flavor. It's like a cereal substitute, and it's like a shake. And these ones have a great story because the guy the guy that had these had a few of them, and he ran them in Toy Shop, which was the old magazine where I used to buy stuff before the internet. And he was like, Captain Crunch Ship Shake mug in box. And I'm like, in box? That sounds interesting. I would like to get some of those in the box. And I called him on the phone and I said, what are these Captain Crunch Ship Shake mugs in box? And then he proceeded to explain what the box was. And I was, my eyes fell out of my head. And I think he had 3 of them or 4 of them. And the funny thing was, I remember him telling me, is that the person I think they had 2 mugs in each box, and so he bought them, and that's why they saved them, to hold these mugs. And that person was a guy named Kevin Burkett. And after that, Kevin and I became friends, and we would see each other at the Chicago Toy Show, and we're still friends on Facebook. But it's just funny how, like, buying one, there's Kevin's on the thing, and yeah, this is the beginning of our friendship. And it's just, that's the kind of one of the many glorious things about collecting, is you just meet people, and sometimes they're just wonderful people, and you watch them as their kids. I remember when his kids were just like babies, and now his kids are like out through college, and so just fun times. And so, like, whenever I look at one of these Ship Shake boxes, I think of that, and it makes me happy. And it was a great deal, and thank you, Kevin, for digging these out of whatever mall you found them in. But this one's kind of fun, which is pretty odd. I don't think I got these from him. These are the actual packets, which still have the Ship Shake in them. And you will find there's some uncut packs, but these ones still have the food in them. And so I think I must have bought another box that was full at some point and then transferred those in here, because I do not remember his boxes being full, because I think they had the mugs in them. And so there's also the smaller version, and this one's the butterscotch flavor, and you could order the mug. I must have bought one of these boxes. Ship Shake, super cool. It's nice because, the art wraps around there. And we're going to end today with this little Captain Crunch sample. And this box, they mailed out to people. And this one, as you see, went to 555 Ulloa Street, San Francisco. And I got this box when I was up doing the PMA show. And a guy came in, Rick, and he's like, would you be interested in this? And I'm like, yes, I would be. And I think he got it. I don't remember if he got it or if, what year was the Ship Shake? I think it was 65. Was it 65? I would say it was 65. I could be wrong. Quaker does not date its stuff very well. No, it wasn't 65. More like 67, probably. And he was like, would you be interested in this? I'm like, yes, I would be. And we worked out a deal. Maybe it was trade, maybe it was cash. I don't remember completely. And then like that same, maybe after the show or one of the other days after the show, I went over his house and he sold me some other stuff, including this big Funny Face Fun and Games book, which he had saved since he was a kid, and a few other really neat things. And he had a room full of all these wonderful things. Much of it saved from his childhood. I think this might have been saved by his mom. I don't know, because he seemed like he was about the same age as me. Maybe he's a few years older. But they had gotten this free sample in the mail, and it's super cool because it has the comic book offer on the side, the introduction of all the characters. It's the same, almost the same exact front, and has the thing on the back, and it's missing the top, but whatever. And so that's what I really love about collecting, is that you make some great friendships along the way, and you get to have a lot of fun stuff, and you get to touch a lot of neat things. Like, as you can see with these shows, I talk a little bit too much about all the stuff that I've sold, because you gotta sell stuff. Can't keep it all. I mean, I'd love to keep it all, and I'm jealous of those people that do get to keep it all. But that's today's show. We're going to come back next week, and we're going to do the other half of cereal. I'll dig it, and it's a lot of great stuff. Wackies, anyone? Nabisco, General Mills, Post. Nabisco, General Mills, Post. Nabisco, General Mills, Post. I'm forgetting something. Maybe it's just Nabisco, General Mills, and Post. And then some other stuff maybe at the bottom of that box. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Okay, bye now.